Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us Team Mosso at the1916company.com for all of your purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we are discussing something launched midsummer in 2023, new for June, in late June. This is the Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean Summer Blue. It was part of a raft of summer blue-themed Seamaster models that came out in late June of 23, and the watch may be the best size for the Planet Ocean, as this is the rarely seen 39.5. So in steel, 39.5 millimeters in diameter, 14.4 millimeters thick, from lug tip to lug tip, 45.1 millimeters with a 19 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see it wears nicely. It's not a big watch, but it's got a good amount of presence. You can see it doesn't have solid end links, so the actual measurement lug-to-lug is the lug-to-lug dimension. Even over the top, the lugs are not over the edge of my wrist, and this is the angle that always exaggerates the width of the watch. I wouldn't call it super thick by Omega dive watch standards, but nor is it very thin. It'll clear jacket cuffs and most dress sleeves, if not the absolute tightest of exotic or French cuffs. I would recommend this watch for a wrist as small as, let's say, 14 centimeters in circumference. A very versatile piece. Taking a look at the bracelet, it's simple. A 3-link design, everything is satin brushed. It is quite robust. It's got a lot of solidity to it. There's a conforming end link, and then we have removable links fixed by screws, and quite a few of them, as you can see, so you're likely to find the right size. We have a approximately 9.6 millimeter incremental slider built into the clasp, and that allows you to fine-tune the fit. It's not quite the same thing as a fold-out dive extension, but allows you to fine-tune a little bit, and that is much appreciated without need for a tool. It is a very thick gauge steel clasp. As you can see, single fold deployant, twin trigger release. The deep and sharp engravings indicate little, if any, refinishing. And then we have a stylized polished bevel on the side. It closes with a click. It opens cleanly. On the flank of the watch, we can see the well-known lyre-style lug, so the inward bevel and then the outward bevel, which is polished. That runs end-to-end from side to side. The polished bevel is longitudinal. We also have a longitudinal satin finish, and then a media-blasted and polished helium escape valve. The idea is that you open this up before a saturation dive, and if you are a saturation diver, diving on the Monitor or some shipwreck that requires long-term submergence at great depth with exotic mixtures, well, you'll appreciate that this little crown, during your one big resurfacing and decompression of the surface after a saturation dive, when the inside of the watch exceeds external pressure by 2 to 3 bar due to internalized helium, as long as you've opened up this valve, it will go out the valve. It will not blow out the seals or the crystals. So for saturation divers, helium escape valve. For everyone else, screw down crown, 600 meter water resistance. And it's true, 600 meters and 2,000 feet, that is not an exact conversion, but everyone does it. Just press the I believe button. Also important, we have a bezel with a light, crisp, and precise 120 click action. Now you can see we have a ceramic insert in the bezel to make it very scratch resistant. A big upgrade over previous generations of anodized aluminum. We'll take a quick look at this watch in the dark, and shout out to the fact that the minute hand and the bezel pearl are a different color than the rest of the dial. Makes it easy to read the time against the bezel in the dark. Also note, all 3 hands loomed, so you know if your dive timer is running in the dark, and that's very important. Summer blue, of course, various shades of blue. We have a gradient fade dial. This is the type of treatment that we generally associate with the likes of, well, for example, Moser or Rolex, but now Omega has embraced it to a limited degree on a few models, and I think it looks great. We have all applique tri-Arabic numerals, Omega logo, marquee, and hour indices, broad arrow style hour and minute hands, a nod to the original Seamaster 300s of the late 50s and early 60s. We have a vertical satination, kind of like stainless steel in the dial, which I think looks great. And if you look under the hands, you can see zirconium oxide. So although it looks metallic, this dial is actually made of ceramic, which is durable and long-lasting. We have hacking seconds. We have a quick set date, and on the reverse, depending on your classical preference, that's either Poseidon or Neptune. And or maybe it's King Triton from The Little Mermaid. I'm not sure. But in any case, it's a good-looking case back, and it actually sits over an Omega 8800. And the Omega 8800 is what you'll find in the Seamaster Diver 300 meter. It's a single-barrel automatic with 55-hour power reserve. It is a master chronometer. This is a master chronometer with coaxial escapement. Master chronometer is 6 positions, tested as a fully cased-up watch, also tested for winding efficiency, power reserve, durability, anti-magnetism, water resistance, and chronometry, of course. So it's a full test of the cased-up watch. COSC, yes, but it goes beyond that. The coaxial uses tangential rather than sliding friction. Sliding friction would be like a traditional Swiss lever. It helps to extend power reserve, reduce maintenance requirements, and improve chronometry. It has a full balance bridge with a free-sprung balance for a better toughness against shock. The free-sprung balance also allowing it to be precisely adjusted. Anti-magnetic silicone hairspring, as well as anti-magnetic balance, balance staff, and escapement to render this watch virtually amagnetic, and this movement pivots on 35 joules. If you love it, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.